Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com and with another draft with the Zendikar. I'm enjoying it so far. Not the greatest format ever with my first draft experience, but I think the format is diverse enough that there's plenty of different themes we can go. So right at the back here we've got some nice little landfall creatures with the Makandi Siderunner and the Scythe Leopard. Brutal Expulsion is, I would say, pretty powerful in this format. I just don't want to be dedicating to blue and red quite yet, so I think I'm going to pass this on. I think Smite the Monstrous is also pretty good in the format, and I do think Aggression is really, really powerful in this format. I like red a tad bit better than green, so we can go this landfall type strategy, or we can just take the Smite the Monstrous, and I think I'm going to take, I'll take the Scythe Leopard. We'll try green this time. See what a Scythe Leopard landfall deck can work out to. So we need to take like all of the lands that can actually go in, fetch other lands at high priority if we go into landfall. Swarm Surge is cool with an Eldrazi type deck. This is a format, this is definitely an archetype I want to try. So our opponent took the rare. The Titan's Presence is actually pretty good if you go into Eldrazi's. Additional cost, you reveal a colorless creature card and exile a creature with power less than. So you can take these big colorless creatures and then, like this Ruin Processor, for example, and you can just exile basically anything. I'm not a fan of the Ruin Processor. I think it's one of the weaker Eldrazi's. Let's see here. We got the Converge Ally card. I love this card for allies. And then we also have the Eldrazi Sky Spawner, which I think is one of the more powerful Eldrazi's, because it's a 2/1 flyer that puts in a 1/1. Nothing else besides those two that are too, yeah, not too, what does it, Ulamog's Nullifier do? Enters the battlefield, and you put top 2 cards if you do counter spell. Ooh, that's a great card. I just don't think I want to dedicate into black-blue quite yet. I think the Eldrazi Sky Spawn is the most powerful card here. We have the Chasm Guide, which is actually pretty good with the, it's a 3/2 haster by itself, and then gives all your other allies haste. It is a very powerful ally. This is one of them, if you're going to go into allies, you definitely want to grab. We have a Mindraker, which is fine. It is kind of like a rat, a relentless rat, but with a larger body. We still have the Territorial Baloth if we want to go into landfall. We have the Blighted Gorge, which isn't that bad. These lands are actually pretty good. I don't usually count them as, I call these, kind of spell lands, and you don't count them towards your land count. We have an Ingest. If you control another creature, they lose 3 life. I actually like the Dominator Drone, and it works well with the Eldrazi Sky Spawner. I think it's the most powerful of the cards here. The Painful Truce is also pretty good. You can draw 2. It's like a Read the Bones, but I don't think you take it this high. And yeah, I think we'll go for the Dominator Drone. So we have a great ally with the Resolute Blade Master. This is the one that gives double strike. It is 5 mana though, but it basically wins the game if you get it out and you have enough allies. We've already passed a lot of allies, and a lot of allies have been passed our way, so I don't know if that's quite the strategy we want to go. The Spell Shovel worked out very well for us last time around. I do like it. We have a higher cast Rune Processor. Rush of Ice is very, very good with... The Awaken is actually pretty underrated with this. You can tap down a creature and put a 3/3 into play. I love the Skyline Cascades. I think these are great lands. I don't know if we take it this high, though. We have a Eyeless Watcher, which I think is great for the Eldrazi strategy. I think it's just the most powerful card here still, is the Eyeless Watcher. So we are very, very vulnerable to like Boiling Sands or whatever the card is called. It does 1 damage to each creature. We have a Titan's Presence we could easily play here. I think the Titan's Presence... I'm going to take the Eyeless Watcher just a little bit higher than Titan's Presence. So there's the Boiling Earth. This one just absolutely destroys Eldrazi strategies. So I just might take it as kind of a... so our opponent can't take it. Not a fan of Brilliant Spectrum. The Ruin Processor, again, is... It's not too bad for a 7 mana for a 7/8, and then you can gain 5 life. We'd have to get a lot of Ingest cards early on. We have another Spell Shovel. I think it's fine. It's basically counter a spell. Boiling Earth, though, is just such a powerful card. I think that we just hate it out. Because if we're not going to go into Eldrazi, if we go into, like, even Landfall, Boiling Earth does a very good job. We'll just put it to the sideboard. We still have no clue what our colors are going to be. We're only 4 cards in. So, I mean, if red seems to be wide open with a Makandi Siderunner coming back, we could easily switch. So we have the tap up 2 creatures that don't untap and put 2 colors. Oh, just put 1 colorist Eldrazi spawn. That's not a bad card, though. We have the Siderunner. We have a champion that gives everything trample with the allies. We have the Great Horn in white, first strike landfall. This is actually powerful landfall creature. I think the Siderunner is the most powerful card here. The Sylvan Scrying's okay if we need to go for like land fixing. And we are in 3 colors right now. I just wonder if I want to go for the Siderunner or just want to go for... I do like Sultai in this. I think I'll take the Sylvan Scrying. It's very good for fixing for a 3-color deck. The Retreat of Alka is not bad. +2/+0 can't block. Now I'm really wishing I would have gone into landfall, but it's not too late to switch. We have the Renewal, which gains 7 life and puts 3 basic land cards on the battlefield tapped. This basically guarantees you get your Eldrazi's. The 7 life is also very relevant in limited, especially this format where you do need to stabilize versus early aggression. So we have the Salvage Drone, which helps us with the ingest. I think we'll take the Retreat, though. I do like... It looks like they're passing us quite a few powerful red cards, and right as when I say that, it no longer is there any red cards in this one. We have a Natural Connection that can get a basic land. It works great for landfall as well. Instant speed landfall. We have a Plummet, which isn't bad against all the flying Eldrazi's. There's also quite a few flying creatures that are pesky. Tightening Coils is great if we go into blue. I think the Natural Connection might just be a little bit than Tightening Coils, but you tend to get a bunch of these Natural Connections. So I'm going to just take the Titan Coils. We don't even know what colors, again, we're into. We have 2 Boiling Earths. I think this pretty much guarantees we're going to go into red. This card is very, very powerful. Lithomather's Focus, +2/+2 prevent all damage that would be dealt by creatures by colors creatures this turn, color sources. Not that bad. The Brilliant Spectrum, again, I don't like. We have another Smite the Monsters comes all the way back. I think we'll take the Boiling Earth, though, and I think we're going to be into red. The Swarm Surge came back, though. We still have this little Eldrazi strategy going on. We go into Jund Eldrazi's quite easily, or even back into Rug, depending on if we want Dominator Drone or the Eldrazi Sky Spawner. Unified Front is good for the allies. It's a very, very powerful card if we can somehow go into allies, but I think that we just take the Storm Surge here, or Swarm Surge. And if we somehow go into Eldrazi, this is a very... I want to try this card out. Gator's Repoach is just the best card in this pack. How did I miss that last time around? I'm just going to hate it out. And right now we have a lot of like support cards, but no real core cards to what we want to do here. So we have the Awaken card comes back with the Rush of Ice. It is Sorcery Speed. I think as we take the 2/2 Ally, or yeah, it's a nice aggressive card. And Spell Shivel's fine, or the Skyline Cascade is fine. Either one of them. Seek the Wilds is great for actually fixing. And so far, again, we have no clue what we're into. This pack has been all over the place. But the good news is, though, this next pack should give us clear signals to what we go into. And no matter what we go into, we have the support cards necessary. Even white with the Gideon's Reproach. We have the Boiling Earths and the Retreat that are very good. Obnixis is an easy pick here. It's very powerful in draft. So we're gonna pick up the Obnixis and probably try to play it. This will steer us towards black for sure. We have a Cosmic Sentinel that actually works for the Devoid type strategy, and another Swarm Surge. So if we can get enough of the tokens, the Eldrazi spawns. Demon's Grasp is in here as well. We have an Inspired Charge that works with the spawns. But this is just an obvious pick. It's a very, very powerful card in limited. You get to... Reminds me a lot of Vraska. You can destroy a creature right off the bat and then draw cards. Or if they don't have a creature, you can immediately just start drawing cards. And usually you get 2 activations off Obnixis. Retreat to Corehelm is one of the weaker retreats, but it's still a decent card. We have another Eyeless Watcher, which works well with our strategy. I think that it's going to be the obvious choice here. We have a couple of decent, like the Converged Skyra Elf is really good actually with the colors we're going, but I want to steer into Jund rather than into Sultai. Oh, we do have a really good Eldrazi. So Skyrider Elf is fine. It's 2/2 flying for 2. Is it better than an Eyeless Watcher? I don't quite think it is. I think Eyeless Watcher just barely gets the nod over the Skyrider Elf, and this might actually come back to us. So the Clutch of Currents is very good too, but I think the Eyeless Watcher is just the right play. I also like the Thicket for the land. We haven't taken any lands so far. Another Seek the Wilds is fine to help us fix. We have the Transgress, which we can get a mana converted mana cost 3 or greater, which is actually really, really, really good in Limited, because you want to usually get things with 3 or greater. Another Gideon's Reproach, which could actually steer us into a white-based strategy. A lot of white cards are being passed our way. It's a huge signal, a lot of these Great Horns. Sure Strike is fine in an aggro deck. We have a Lifespring Druid, which can help fix, but at this point, I don't think that 3-mana fixer it's just quite weak compared to other things we can do. Transgress seems okay. I just don't want to take over a better card at the moment than... Yeah, we're still all over the place. Gideon's Reproach is so powerful, though. I think we just take it. Gain control of a creature for 5 mana, not something we want to do. We have the Grip of Dissolution, which exiles creature and a land. That is very powerful. We have a Scour for some existence. The Silent Skimmer, which is a flying, which when it attacks, it deals 2 damage. You can just think it's kind of the 2/4, but not as a blocker. I don't know how I feel about this card, actually. The Oracle Dust is fine. I don't want to be 100% dedicated to blue quite yet. And I just think it's the Grip. I think the Grip is the most powerful instant speed. Exile a land and a creature. You set them back. Blister Pod's also really good. But I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just Grip. Molten Nursery, whenever you cast a color spell, deals 1 damage to our creature player. Very, very powerful in a colorless-based strategy. We are kind of in this colorless devoid strategy. We have Vampiric Rites, which is good with all our Eldrazi spawns. A Bone Splinter, which is very good with all of our Eldrazi spawns. I think it's a little bit better than Molten Nursery, but Molten Nursery is very powerful when you have basically all devoid cards. I think we're going to be a mix, and we're still not even... Like, I think black is going to be our card, or one of our colors we're going to go at this point. So we can black and green. So Bone Splinter seems to be the best card here. And I do want... I mean, Molten Nurseries is a very powerful card. But it's going to be Bone Splinters. And we're going to try to go into black. The Callista Healer is actually good just by itself. We have a Bring to Light, which is decently powerful in this deck if we go into the Sultai, because it can go grab us whatever we need. I think that the Bring to Light is fine, in that it can go against a converted mana cost 3 or less and put it into play. So it could be like a Dominator Drone or an Eldrazi Sky Spawner. And I'm pretty sure Bring to Light is one of the more expensive cards in Standard right now. So just for that sake, I think I'll just take it over the Callista Healer or the Blister Pod. Which Blister Pod, though, does work very well with our Bone Splinters. We'll bring the Light into play, or into our sideboard. Grave Birth exiles a card, which allows us to get more Eldrazi spawns, but I think just that another Storm Surge might come back. I think it's just the Call of Scions we'll take here. Still don't know what our third color is going to be. I like the Eldrazi Sky Spawner. It's one of the best, by far one of the best Eldrazi's. Puts out another a 1/1 and a 2/1 flyer. We also have the Mist Intruder, which is pretty good for the devoid-based strategy. A 1/2 flyer ingest. Natural Connection for landfall. I don't think at this point we're going to be going to landfall. I think I'll take the Mist Intruder. And I'm hoping that other Swarm Surge comes back, because I think we have a pretty decent Swarm Surge deck going on. The Blighted Woodland can go get 2 basic lands. Can help us fix, but it's 4 mana. I think the Skyline Cascade is just a little bit better than it. We have a creature gets -X/-0 with how many colors we spend and draw a card. Nice little cantrip card, but I just don't think it's quite there. The Stalwart can become, in our deck, it can become a 3/4 for 3 mana. I think we'll take... I think that's fine, actually, to take the Stalwart over the Skyline. I mean, could have had a ton of Skylines. So the Skyrider Elf comes back, which is awesome. We'll take it. It'll be good in our deck. Assassin Gaze Death Touch whenever I gain life. Seek the Wilds, I think, is just better. And a Blister Pod does come back, so that's really good. The Vicious Null's not bad with Eldrazi's either. Vampiric Rites I think is great with Eldrazi's. Yeah, we're definitely going into a Sultai Eldrazi spawn deck. Another Blister Pod comes back, so that ended up being very good for us. The Swarm Search did not come back. I don't know if I want to quite play it. I think we need to. So Mist Intruder can come in here. Spell Shrivel will probably come in here. And Tightening Grip is fine. I don't know about the Bring Delight or the Stalwart. I think Bring Delight's still fine in this deck. It can go grab a sorcery instant or creature. So in our deck, it can go get a Call of the Scions, a Dominator Drone. So the Reef Hydra, Trample Landfall, put a +1 counter if it's a forest, you put 2. Very powerful card. We have a Carrier Thrall, which works pretty decent in our deck. Same with Altar's Reap. I don't know if we can pass up a Reef Hydra, though. It just wins the game after a while. It's one of the more powerful of the set. There's like the dragon and the... Yeah, I actually think that the Reef Hydra's, if not the most powerful, it's up there on the power level for that string of cards with the landfall ability. Plummet is always good. Carrier Thrall is, of course, always good. Altar's Reap, always good. But, yeah, it's definitely going to be the Reef Hydra. A Devoid Ingest 1/1 for 1. We do need these type of cards, but I still think Blister Pod's better than a Sludge card. This came all the way back. We have the Ulamog's Nullifier, which now is very good, but we have to have something in the graveyard. But it's still a 2/3 flyer flash for 4 mana is not bad at all. Another Gideon's Reproach in the sideboard. We have hopefully either a Sludge Color, a Blister Pod, or an Anticipate comes back. The Dampening Pulse is really good against other Eldrazi spawn based strategies, or allies based strategies. So we're going to grab the Nullifier. Wish I would have picked that other Nullifier early on. Would have been a great card to put in here. Put X+1 counters on target creature where it's a number of colors spent. Not bad. Instant speed. Don't think it's going to make the cut here with our deck, though. We can always just take it 2/2 for 2. Or a 2/1 that makes something unblockable for 2. Not impressed with this pack. Swell of Growth is okay, too. This is a really cool card for landfall. Yeah, this is a very weak pack, and I don't quite think there's any card we necessarily want. Invoker is okay. It's just a 2/2 for 2, which helps us with what we need. Another Nissa's Renewal. I wonder how good this is in actually limited. I think the Mist Intruder is better for what we want to do, though. It does have that Devoid. We're not doing a lot of Devoid-based cards. Just so far, all we have is just the Dominator Drone. No, we don't have the... Let's see. That just does 2 life. Okay. But those combo very well. I think we just take the Mist Intruder. We have a Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. It can actually... That only if you have 7 more lands. No, we do not need it. We don't have anything big. Salvage Drone's fine. Incubator Drone is also okay. I think Incubator Drone is better. It gives us 2 cards. Salvage Drone gives us just a 1/1 at the very first. But Dominator Drone is actually better than both. Yeah, I think Dominator Drone's the pick here. Sharpshooter's a great card, too. Don't underestimate this card. Once you get up to 5 mana, you can start pinging down at least 1/1s. It's going to be the Dominator Drone. It's a very aggressive card. Spell Shrivel's fine. We have a Devoid, enters the battlefield. Exile, you can return a creature. I think this is fine, the Merc Strider, over a Spell Shrivel. And another Retreat to Valakut. Yeah, I do like the red that we started to get, but it's just not going to get there. Earthen Arms is okay. We'll take the Strider. Anticipate's a fine card. We have a Mindraker, which with enough earlier Devoid cards or Ingest cards, we could actually make it work. I think that we just want an Anticipate over a Mindraker. Or possibly even a Spell Shrivel. We'd have 2 Spell Shrivels, which I think is the right number. Mindraker is just a 3/3 that can make them discard a card. Yeah, I don't think Miner could quite. I don't think we have enough ingest cards at the very first. Dominator Drone, I guess, works with it. I'm going to take the Spell Shrivel. Or the... Yeah. I'm going to take the Spell Shrivel. Blighted Cataract is fine. Late game, we have a Catacomb Sifter, though, which is right in our colors. Or another Stalwart, which is, in our deck, is going to be a 3-4 for 3 mana, hopefully. A Clutch Occurrence is very, very good as well. But this is still just another 2-for-1 card that we need in the deck. Swarm Surge is definitely going to come in now. I think we have plenty of cards to make it worthwhile. Altar's Reap can draw us 2 cards off of an Eldrazi spawn, and it's instant speed. I think it gets the nod over both the 4-3 and the 3-2 vanilla creatures, or a Plummet that can destroy a creature. And we can put 1 card for Grave Birth and draw a card. I think Grave Birth's actually not bad. I want to try it out to see how well it works in our deck. The Ingest card did come back, and the Anticipate, not the Blister Pod. We do need a 1-1 Ingest. And here we'll just take the more powerful card. I just think we can take a Dispel for a sideboard card. That's fine. Oracle of Dust is okay. So is Voracious Knoll. Not quite sure if we'll end up playing it. And the Salvage Drone comes back. So I think we actually have some early ingest cards that can help our other cards if we end up even needing them. So this is probably a weaker deck than the last deck that we built. I think we hated out a lot of people in our draft, though. We screwed up with taking the Boiling Earth and Gideon's Reproaches, Retreats, things like that. Really messed up the red-white if there's one of us to the left or the right of us. So 33 cards. We have to cut down a lot of cards here. So I'm going to take the Blister Pods and not do like Salvage Drones. Is there really any sort of ingest type strategy besides the Nullifier that we actually even care about? We can bounce a card. We can make him discard a card. The Stalwart. I think the Stalwart for 3-4 most likely is going to be a 2-3 is fine, a 3-4. I think we want the Stalwart. The Seek the Wilds are just really good for fixing, and then same with Sylvan Scrying. They're both very good for fixing for that last color. The Tightening Coils is a must. We have the Mist Intruders for ingest, so we might not actually need the Salvage Drone or the Sludge Crawler. Sludge Crawler is a little more powerful because we can pump it up, but I think these just are too unimpactful. We'll wait and see if that's the case. Wish we would have got that last Swarm Surge because these cards make the deck a lot better. But Vampiric Rites and the Bone Splitters I think want to be in this deck. The Scythe Leopard not so much. We need the Tightening Coils. The Reef Invoker, we can take out the Reef Invoker. Grave Birth. Try to put exile card from a graveyard, put a 1/1 Eldrazi spawn, and draw a card. It seems like value to me. At least a 1/1 and draw a card. And exile to make it so we can get a Nullmog's Nullifier, I think is pretty good. But we have some huge cuts we have to take for now. I think we need the Grip of Desolation. The Bring to Light can go get us a Spell Shrivel. Well, it's a sorcery speed. It can only get us a 3-power creature. It can go get us an Eldrazi spawn. I just don't think Bring to Light's quite good in this deck. Still have a ways to go of cards we need to cut. Sylvan Scrying. Do we need it? It is going to be quite hard to fix these. A 3-4 for... I think I'm going to cut the Stalwart. We'll keep the Skyrider Elf, though, and it's a 3-3 for 2 or for 3 mana. 3-3 flying, or 2-2 for 2. It's pretty aggressive. Definitely with the Blister Pods, though, with Vampiric Rites. Spell Shrivels, Dominator Drone, Grave Burst, Swarm Surge. Swarm Surge, yeah, Swarm Surge still seems really good. We want the Tightening Coils just because it nullifies one creature. We could take out Spell Shrivels and bring them in against decks that we... No, I just think that countering spells in this format is very powerful. Oh, all creatures get +2/+0. I thought it was just colorless creatures. This card's a lot better than I gave it credit for. This works for allies as well. 13. So we need to get this down to... I like running... In this, we can probably safely run 17 in this deck. 17 lands. So we still need to cut 4 cards. Still want the Mist Intruders. I think they're great. The Bone Splitters. Maybe we could just cut the fixing, but then it's really hard to find the cards we need. But neither of these are... They're taking your turn 2 to try and fix. Tiny Coils is one of our only few removal spells, but I think I want to be more proactive with dropping 2-drops. And there are ingesters that help things get going, and these ingest. I think we have plenty of ingest. This exiles a card. I don't know if we'll have enough cards in the graveyard at this point. Grave Birth might end up being a weak card, but I think we're going to try this. Don't know how about the Tightening Coils. Probably just wants to be in here, but since we have very little removal. And 5/7/7. We do want more black, I think, for sure. Blue, not so much. I think we'd rather have another green source. Then, nah, that's fine. All right, we'll submit this and see how it does.